Pats, Bills, who do you like and why?
I mean, I like the Bills just because I think obviously they're a more finished product when it comes to their team. What they've done at home speaks, I think, for itself. I have some questions about the Patriots' ability to run the ball, even though the Bills' run defense hasn't been very good. I feel like we were talking about that against Pittsburgh, and it never really materialized. And ultimately, I think for the Patriots at this point, I like the fact that Vrabel's openly talking about it in terms of embracing the spot, the idea that it's a little bit of a showcase prove it game. I like the fact that he's talking about that. I just don't think that they are far enough along in their development and the implementation of his program to be able to answer the bell and win this type of game against this type of team on the road.
If they are to do it, how do they do it?
That's a great question. I mean, I think Drake Maye would probably have to play out of his mind, and they would have to be able to get some turnovers against Buffalo. The interesting thing about Buffalo and Josh Allen right now is that they don't really throw the ball down the field very much. You know, every year, I think for the last 3 years, his average yards per attempt has gone down, and he's near the bottom of the league. He's a lot closer to someone like Aaron Rodgers than you would think somebody with the arm strength of Josh Allen would be. So if you can get them in a position, and the Bills are very good at this because they have this type of quarterback where they can execute those 13, 14, 15 play drives. But if you can get them in a position where you make tackles, don't give up yards after the catch, make them drive the field and maybe force some turnovers. Maybe there's a situation where Josh Allen exits the pocket and you can strip sack him, or the James Cook, who in the past at times has put the ball on the ground, maybe you get one off of him. If you're able to do that, I think that could help you. But otherwise, if you don't generate turnovers and you don't win the turnover battle, I don't see how the Patriots could possibly win this game.
Okay. Do you have a thought, Mazz?
I was just going to say, I think they have some sort of ridiculous streak going where they have not lost the turnover battle in however many games in a row. I can't remember what the number is. I know I read it. And they're not going to make a lot of mistakes. The other thing is, for all the talk about the Buffalo defense and their inability to stop the run, and they've given up 100 or more in every game. They gave up almost 200 in New Orleans last week. They've also run for a crap ton. So their running offense has really fueled their offense as much as Allen has.
But meanwhile, in a related story, Chris Gasper tells us in the email chain that actually, Murray, the foreman of the jury, has called for the bailiff, and Gasper, who is a member of this jury, is ready to come into the courtroom with a verdict. Is that right, Chris?
That is correct. Yes, I know Jim's going to hate this, but I'm calling it. The verdict is in. As Maz would say, they have the guy. It's Drake Maye. Drake Maye is the successor to Tom Brady. Obviously, he's not going to be Tom Brady, but they have a quarterback they can build around and be a perennial playoff contender. Now it's about building the rest around him. I'm sold. I've seen enough. 16 starts into it. I think they have a legitimate franchise type quarterback.
Why? What is it? What do you see? What do you see? What does he do that leads you to believe he is a franchise quarterback?
First of all, it's the skill set, the dual threat skill set, the physical skills. He clearly, I don't think anybody argues, and even when he was coming out, no one would argue that he didn't have the physical skill set to be that type of quarterback. But now what I'm seeing is I think that he understands a little bit more that position is judged by winning. I liked what he said after the game last week when someone was saying, is this the best version of you? And he said, well, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm trying to do, if it leads to wins. So I think the mentality, you have to remember, he's only 23 years old. So I think the mentality we've seen from him this year, adjusting to Josh McDaniels' system and Josh adjusting to him, which is what I like as well. I just think he has now, is he a finished product? No, I'm not saying he's a finished product, but I would compare it to Josh Allen in year two. In year two, those people in Buffalo were like, we think we have something special here. And that team made the playoffs. They were 10-6. They were 4 games better than the year before, but they made it because they had a top 5 defense. Their offense was 24th in the NFL that year with Josh Allen. And then it was the next year that Josh Allen really popped and became Josh Allen. But those people in Buffalo, they saw it in year two. They'd seen enough. They'd seen the glimpses and the flashes, and they believed, and they were right. And I think it's the same thing here. Are you going to see it consistently this year from Drake? Probably not. There's still going to be ups and downs. But I am ready to call it and say that they have the guy, and that in the long run, he's going to be that guy.
This is very disappointing. Did you face juror?
Hung jury.
No, juror intimidation.
Poll the jury. Exactly.
Bobby Bacala knocked on your house, your new Cape house, knocked on the door. Like, he's got the tools. Yes, I see that. He's had 2 fantastic games this year. Miami last week against the Panthers. Can I get a little more consistency? Can I get 2 good games in a row?
Runaway jury.
Can I see him get 1 measly comeback win? Just 1? Because he's got none. Just
tampering.
Yeah, I'm talking to the feds. As soon as we're done here in an hour and 15 minutes, I'm calling in, and I want them to look at jury tampering because they remain out, in my view.
Well, I will say, so it is possible. You could say that I'm prejudicial because I was the guy that was saying maybe it is confirmation bias because I was the guy saying if Drake Maye's there at number 3, you sprint to the podium with the card. But you are looking at a quarterback. I mean, he leads the NFL in completion percentage. He's 5th in quarterback rating. Right now in the NFL, in drop back expected points added, number 1 is Josh Allen. Guess who's number 2?
Drake Maye.
Drake Maye. So I think you can see enough. Again, I'm not telling you it's a finished product, and the points you're bringing up, Murray, are fair. And, some of us are early adopters. Other people need to learn the technology. They're all thumbs. They're old. It takes them a while to figure out how to use the technology. They need someone, you're kind of like Felger. You need a younger person to come and show you how to use the streaming service. I immediately am looking at this Drake Maye streaming service and saying, this is the future. I'm in.
No, that beta version always works out so well for people, too. Like the first version, yeah. No, early adopters.
Okay, we'll have more on this, I'm sure, on Gasper and Murray tomorrow. My second question, quickly, Chris, was did you watch Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne last night? And if so, thoughts?
I did watch it last night. I flipped over. Hey, good for Mac Jones. I think he's in the right situation. And with Kyle Shanahan, who's the type of coach that will say, just do what I say and you'll look good. And that was good. Good for Mac. And he showed, it's still a little tough. He showed some toughness. He still makes the sour face every time he gets hit and he gets hurt. But good for him. I would just say, pump the brakes a little on the Mac Jones revive. First of all, can I just say as an aside, Mac Jones is to Kirk Herbstreit as Patrick Mahomes is to Chris Collinsworth. Did anybody else get that feeling of Herbstreit just giving an absolute tongue bath to Mac Jones?
It was all a bit much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to hear it.
Oh, my God. I mean, and I know it's carryover from college football and Alabama, but what a tongue bath for Mac Jones. But I would say I think it's a little premature to put him on the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold comeback trail, which is what Herbstreit and Michaels, to a lesser degree, were doing, because we've seen not quite as well, but we've seen Shanahan do this before. He made C.J. Beathard look good. He made Nick Mullins look good as a backup, and he went to 2 title games with Jimmy Garoppolo. So Kyle Shanahan is one of those coaches that can make a quarterback look pretty good. I don't think anybody needs to apologize or feel like the Patriots missed out on Mac Jones, but good for Mac.
I know I'm not telling you Mac Jones is great, but last night and how he's played has showed you that if you put him in a real place with real people around him, he's functional. He turned here into a dysfunctional mess.
I mean, it's impossible to not take that out of this.
And Kendrick Bourne's a professional receiver. I always thought so.
They should have never cut him. That's the thing that pissed me off the most last night. Like, I don't think he was done. And given the state of the Patriots wide receiver room, they shouldn't have cut him.
I just think last night was a reflection of here. That's all. Gasper, thought.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I think you can certainly look at it that way. Now, Kyle Shanahan is one of the better offensive coaches in the NFL. I think what's a little unique about this situation, at least with Bourne, is, again, that's an offense that he's been in before. He came from there in terms of San Francisco. And if you recall, he has a great relationship with Mac Jones. When Mac Jones was playing here and having his great year in 2021, Kendrick Bourne put up career numbers, and I definitely remember the touchdown against Dallas because my Twitter feed immediately lit up with Jack Jones. Who's Jack Jones now, Gasper? Jack Jones. So I obviously remember that. So I don't want to overreact to it because I think the circumstances are unique in terms of Bourne knows that offense. He has a great rapport with Mac Jones. It's a small sample size. I do think that's a great place for Mac Jones to be, but I also feel like I need to see a little bit more to say Mac Jones has been completely rehabilitated at a level of a Baker Mayfield or a Sam Darnold, because I've seen Kyle Shanahan do this before in short sample sizes, not quite to this level. I mean, Mac Jones's numbers are incredible in the 3 games he started. Not quite to that level, but again, I've seen him make Nick Mullins look like he could start somewhere in the NFL. I've seen him make C.J. Beathard look like he could start somewhere in the NFL. And I've seen him make Jimmy Garoppolo look like Bill Belichick was right about Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of having the guy and having to let him go to keep going with Brady. So I don't want to overreact to what we saw, but your point is right. It is a better organization. It's more functional, and their program is fully up and running, and it shows.